waters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
A bit earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, 20.9 million students go back to public schools in the Philippines. Manny Pacquiao's wealth drops by 24% from 2012. And King Juan Carlos of Spain abdicates.
Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Nearly 21 million students returned to school Monday when public schools opened nationwide in the Philippines. Department of Education data show nearly 3,000 schools were affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda in November 2013. There's a demand for about 2,300 new classrooms, while nearly 18,000 classrooms needed to be fixed. In typhoon-hit areas, thousands of students begin classes in tents and makeshift classrooms. Around 86% of public schools in the capital will hold double-shift classes this school year. Teachers groups, on the other hand, are clamoring for a salary increase for entry-level teachers nationwide from a base pay of around 18,500 to 25,000 pesos. But G. Geronimo reports the Education Department is aggressively recruiting for the best and brightest teachers.
Even teachers get the first day jitters. Especially Jessica Candari, who just left 16 years of teaching in a private academy to teach in a public school.
Siyempre, kinakabahan, nervous talaga. Kasi kaiba dun sa pinanggalingan ko. So number one, nakita ko pagpasok ko, eto pala. So panibagong trabaho. So parang nagsisimula ka pa rin.
For nearly 2 decades, she was happy, even with the little she earns. Her husband had to work abroad to supplement their income. But she decided to quit when the school administration changed.
Kung bakit ako lumipat. Ang number one actually, yun yung laging sinasabi ko sa sarili ko. Pag di na ako masaya doon sa isang lugar, aalis na ako.
Jessica is one of more than 33,000 new teachers in public schools this year and among the brightest hired by the Education Department. Education Assistant Secretary Jesus Mateo says they look beyond the license when hiring qualified teachers.
Pero ang tanong ngayon, sino doon sa may lisensya ang naaangkop doon sa ating paaralan?
Once hired, the department makes sure they are well compensated. A United Nations agency says providing quality incentives will not only motivate teachers, it will also help improve the quality of education. Jessica is still adjusting to her new environment.
Kakayanin ko ba to? Parang ganun. Pero nakita ko naman, very supportive yung head teacher ko at saka yung principal. So siguro sana matutulungan din nila ako.
Yet what she's most excited about is not the bigger salary, but the new faces and the new stories. G. Geronimo, Rappler, Manila.
The government spent at least 1.41 million pesos or more than $32,000 to detain Janet Lim Napoles, the woman at the center of the Philippines' latest corruption scandal. Napoles is detained in Fort Santo Domingo in Laguna for allegedly kidnapping former aide turned whistleblower Ben Herluy. It costs 150,000 pesos a month to keep her detained in Fort Santo Domingo and around 120,000 pesos for every transfer from Laguna to Metro Manila. Lawmakers criticize the high costs, with Senator Miriam Santiago saying regular prisoners cost the government only a little over 1,600 pesos a month. Former Makati Mayor Elenita Binay will file charges against the Ombudsman for reviving graft cases against her that were dismissed with finality in 2011. The case stems from the alleged overpricing of hospital beds at the Makati Hospital when Mrs. Binay was mayor from 1998 to 2001. Her lawyers say the review of the dismissed cases, quote, showed undue haste, harassment, and the blatant absence of transparency. Binay spokesman Joey Salgado says the revival of the cases are part of the demolition job against Vice President Jejomar Binay, whose allies are implicated in the pork barrel scam. Manny Pacquiao remains the richest member of the House of Representatives in 2013, but his latest statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth, or SALN, shows he suffered the biggest drop in wealth compared to 2012. The net worth of the Filipino boxer and Sarangani representative drops by around 24% from 1.77 billion pesos or $40 million in 2012 to 1.35 billion pesos or $31 million in 2013. The boxer's total assets decreased despite earning around 875.4 million pesos or $20 million from his fight with Timothy Bradley in April. Communist guerrillas New People's Army, or NPA, releases abducted forestry workers Monday afternoon. Compostela Valley's police chief says the workers are now at the office of Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte. The NPA kidnapped the forestry workers Friday and accused them of spying using a drone called the Sky Eye UAV. Earlier, the NPA said they would release the captives once assured the Sky Eye would stop its surveillance. NPA has been waging Asia's longest-running communist insurgency. Compostela Valley remains one of its remaining strongholds. Japan reaches a new milestone, transforming itself from a pacifist nation to a proactive state, which analysts see as a counterweight to an aggressive China. U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel on Saturday backed Japan's plan to expand its regional military role, unveiled at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. This came after Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said his country would play a more proactive role in Asian security, including providing Coast Guard vessels to the Philippines and potentially Vietnam. During the Security Forum, Hagel accused China of restricting the Philippines' access to Scarborough Shoal and moving an oil rig into disputed waters with Vietnam. Hagel warned China against destabilizing actions in the South China Sea, saying the United States opposes assertion through coercion and force. He added, "The United States will not look the other way when fundamental principles of the international order are being challenged." On Sunday, China reacted with anger at the statements of the U.S. and Japan. People's Liberation Army Deputy Chief of Staff Wang Guangzhong dismissed Hagel's statements as baseless. Wang accused Abe and Hagel of conspiring to attack China in their remarks. Japan hits back at China Monday, saying Wang made claims based on mistake of facts and defamed our country. Flights between Australia and Bali resume after volcanic ash from an Indonesian volcano forced the cancellation of flights over the weekend. Flights into and out of the northern Australian city of Darwin were cancelled Saturday because of huge ash clouds from Indonesia's Sanggayang Api volcano. The volcano erupted Friday, sending columns of ash up to 2,500 meters into the air. While it continues to erupt Monday, the ash clouds have dissipated to levels safe for planes. The King of Spain steps down. Spain's Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy announces King Juan Carlos will abdicate after a 39-year-long reign because of poor health. In a televised address, Juan Carlos says his abdication will, quote, try to ensure stability for Spain. He says, quote, a new generation must be at the forefront. The king's son, Crown Prince Felipe, will take over the throne. Juan Carlos was one of the world's most popular monarchs, but a series of controversies in recent years made Spaniards lose confidence in their king. He secretly went on a safari while the nation was reeling from an economic depression. The 76-year-old king ascended to the throne in 1975, taking over after the death of dictator Francisco Franco. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 4, a U.S. soldier captured nearly 5 years ago is freed Saturday. In a deal brokered by Qatar, the Taliban frees Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl in exchange for 5 Taliban inmates held at Guantanamo prison. The details reveal the commander of the U.S. Special Operations Team who recovered Bergdahl was directly communicating with his Taliban counterpart. Captured in 2009, Bergdahl was held in Pakistan for close to 5 years. In a report in the Washington Post, the two sides arranged to meet near Afghanistan's border with Pakistan. At number 6, Top secret documents show the U.S. National Security Agency, or NSA, has been using new software for facial recognition programs. The images came from email, text, and social media posts, among others. A report says NSA officials believe advanced technology could revolutionize the agency's method of identifying targets. And at number 10, the mega hit music video Gangnam Style by Korean pop icon Psy hits over 2 billion views on Saturday, a first on YouTube. Earlier in February, Justin Bieber's Baby was the only other video in the exclusive billion-view club. The music video is seen by some as a satire on the ostentatious lifestyle of Seoul's Gangnam shopping district. It was first uploaded on YouTube in July 2012. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. The Philippine men's football team, or ASCLs, falls short in the AFC Challenge Cup final Saturday, midnight Manila time, bowing to Palestine 1-0. The ASCLs had shots at goal but were mostly off target. Palestine's 57th minute was the game's lone goal and deciding factor. Meanwhile, Filipino boxer Nonito Donaire steals the IBF featherweight title from South African Simpiwe Vityeka. After 5 rounds in the ring, the scorecards read 49-46 for Donaire, who wins his 5th world title. Donaire joins the ranks of Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and others as IBF featherweight champ. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and our viewers the most emotionally. These 10 stories have gotten the most number of votes on their mood meter. If we take a look today, we have, interestingly enough, the wealth of the Estrada family's wealth levels in 2013, 85% angry, interestingly 6% happy, and 2% inspired. That inspired bringing out the story, the mood of the story that's gotten the most number of votes. This is about a young man, a 16-year-old who's moved from the slums to a scholarship in Germany, a particular favorite on Rappler over the weekend. You have 78% inspired. That green bringing out the mood of the day. The last 24 hours to date, most people are inspired. That is Rappler's newscast for today, Monday, June 2, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.